Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of No Invite Necessary. I'm your host, Nolita, aka the Mona Lita, and this is where I share real stories of the hustlers, grinders, dreamers, and doers who have faced some of life's toughest challenges and actually come out on top, stronger, wiser, and way more fulfilled. This is a show where we are all about practical resilience, growth, and transformation. This show is for anyone who's ever felt sidelined or underestimated. Whether you're finding inner peace, rebuilding after a crisis, or making waves in your community, here is where I spill the tea on the hustle and the lessons learned along the way.
No invite necessary. No invite necessary podcast.
Now, today's episode is a crucial one, okay? I'm diving deep into maintaining integrity in the midst of a setback. Integrity is everything, especially when the going gets tough, right? And as we all know, the journey to success, it's rarely smooth. It's during those low moments, those setbacks, where our integrity is truly put to the test. Now, as Proverbs 10:9 says, whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out. And today, I want to explore why is it so important to hold onto your integrity when the world is trying to shake it loose. All right, let's jump right in. So what exactly do I mean by integrity? Well, integrity is about sticking to your moral and ethical principles, even when it's not the easy or convenient thing to do. It's about being honest with yourself and others, staying true to your word, and doing the right thing, even when nobody's watching. Now, when we're hit with the setback, whether that's losing a job, facing financial struggles, or dealing with a personal crisis, our integrity can be tested in ways we never even imagined. Suddenly, we might feel pressured to cut corners, blame others for our failures, or even take advantage of a situation just to get ahead. It's in these moments when our true character is actually revealed. So here are some common tests of integrity during setbacks, right? You have the pressure to cut corners, like I mentioned. You're facing financial strain, and suddenly the idea of cutting a few ethical corners doesn't seem so bad. Maybe it's lying on a resume or, padding some performance numbers, something you'd really never consider under normal circumstances. Or it could be temptation to blame others, right? When things go wrong, the easiest thing to do is point fingers. Blaming others for our situation might seem like a quick way to deflect responsibility, but it doesn't solve the problem. It actually just creates more. Or it could be the opportunity to exploit a situation, right? Imagine you're in position to take advantage of someone else's misfortune for your own gain. Yes, it's tempting, especially when you're in a tough spot, but it's not worth compromising your integrity for temporary gains. Now, I've been there. We've all been there, right? I remember a time when my integrity was extremely tested, y'all. Extremely tested during the setback. And let me tell you, it was not easy to hold on when everything around me was crumbling. But I realized that my integrity was something that no one could take from me. It's my anchor, it's my guiding star, and I had to hold on to it no matter what. Now, as Psalms 25:21 says, may integrity and uprightness protect me, because my hope, Lord, is in you. In simpler terms, this scripture really just reminds us that our integrity, doing what's right even when it's hard, acts as our shield. It protects us, especially when we keep our trust and hope in God. So what about you? Have you ever faced a situation where your integrity was tested during a difficult time? How did you respond? Think about that as we move into the next segment. All right, let's talk about why maintaining your integrity during setbacks is so important. There are so many benefits to staying true to your values, even when the world feels like it's against you. Here are some long-term benefits. First, you're building trust. When you maintain your integrity, you build trust with others Trust is the foundation of all relationships, whether it's with friends, family, colleagues, or clients. When people know that they can count on you to do the right thing, even when it's hard, they're more likely to stand by you and support you in the long run. Secondly, self-respect and peace of mind. There's a deep sense of satisfaction that comes from knowing you did the right thing, even when it's tough. It's that peace of mind that allows you to sleep at night, knowing that you didn't compromise your values for short-term gains. Thirdly, reputation and legacy. The actions you take during challenging times can define your personal and professional legacy. The question is, how do you want to be remembered? As someone who stayed true to their word, or as someone who took the easy way out? Now let's look at some real life examples of people who maintained their integrity during setbacks and came out on top because of it. Nelson Mandela. During his 27 years in prison, Nelson Mandela had every single reason to give up on his principles. He was offered early release on the condition that he renounce his stance on apartheid and political violence, but he didn't. Mandela refused, knowing that accepting these terms would compromise his integrity and the fight for freedom. His unwavering commitment to his values not only earned him global respect, but also laid the foundation for the end of apartheid in South Africa. We could even look at Oprah Winfrey, right? Oprah faced numerous setbacks in her early career, including being fired from her job as a television reporter because she was deemed unfit for TV, whatever that's supposed to mean. But instead of compromising her authenticity and trying to fit the mold that others expected of her, Oprah stayed true to herself and her vision. This integrity has been a cornerstone of her success, making her one of the most influential media figures in the whole world. When I think about these examples, I'm reminded that integrity isn't just about doing what's right in the moment. It's about playing the long game. I remember when I was younger that my daddy would drill something into my head repeatedly. He would always say, always play the long game, baby girl. Consider how your actions of today could potentially impact your tomorrow. It's about building a legacy that you can be proud of, no matter what challenges come your way. Now, let's flip the script and talk about what happens when we don't maintain our integrity during setbacks. The consequences actually can be severe and long-lasting. So let's look at short-term gains versus long-term consequences. Firstly, loss of trust. Once trust is lost, it is incredibly difficult to regain. People remember when you compromise your integrity, and it can take years, if ever, to rebuild the trust that was broken in a single moment. Secondly, guilt and regret can weigh heavily on your heart, making it very difficult to move forward with confidence. Thirdly, damaged reputation. A single misstep can tarnish your reputation and affect future opportunities. It's not just about what you did, it's about how people perceive you moving forward. Now, I want to provide you with some real life examples where a lack of integrity led to significant negative consequences. First up, Lance Strong. We all know this story, but here we go. He was once hailed a cycling legend, right? Lance Strong's reputation was almost instantly shattered when it was revealed that he had used performance-enhancing drugs to win his Tour de France titles. Armstrong had built his career and brand on the premise of overcoming adversity. But his decision to compromise his integrity not only cost him his titles, but also the trust of millions of fans worldwide. And here's one we all know as well, Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart, she was a domestic diva, let's say that, turned business mogul. She found herself in hot water when she was convicted of insider trading. Now, by compromising her integrity to make a quick profit, Stewart not only served jail time, but also saw her brand and reputation take a significant hit. Now, although since she has rebuilt her empire, the stain on her legacy still remains. Now, I know I'm hitting a couple of y'all in the gut. I'm hitting heavy, and I know that it's tough. It's tough to hear stories like these, but They serve as powerful reminders that compromising your integrity for short-term gains is never worth it in the long run. When we let go of our values, we risk losing everything we've worked so hard to build. So, how can we make sure we maintain our integrity, even when the pressure is on? Here are some practical steps that have helped me, and I hope that they can help you too. First up, self-reflection and awareness. Stay grounded in your values, y'all. We have to. I cannot stress that enough. Revisit and reaffirm your core values often, if not daily. Keep them at the forefront of your mind, especially when facing tough decisions. Surround yourself with people who will hold you accountable and remind you of the importance of integrity. It's so very important to have a strong support system that can help keep you on track. We don't need yes men, y'all. Then there's mindfulness and patience. Practice mindfulness to stay calm and focused even when things aren't going well. Take deep breaths, meditate, and give yourself the space to make thoughtful decisions. Number 2, setting clear and defined boundaries. We talk about this on a number of episodes so far. We want to know what our limits are. Clearly define what it is that you will and what you won't do, even when facing significant pressure. Stick to those boundaries, no matter how tempting it may be to cross them. You also want to communicate transparently. Be open and honest with others about your situation and the actions you're taking. Transparency actually builds trust and reinforces your commitment to integrity. Now, as I wrap up this episode, I want you to remember this. Integrity is our greatest asset during a setback. It's not always the easiest path, but it's the one that leads to true success and fulfillment. In Galatians 6:9, it says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." This scripture reminds us that maintaining integrity, even when it's hard, will eventually bring a reward. When you walk in integrity, you're sowing seeds for a future harvest, one that's rich in trust, respect, and true success. Now, it may be tempting to take shortcuts or compromise your values in the moment, but remember that the long-term reward of staying true to who you are far outweighs the short-term gain. So as you navigate your setbacks, hold on to your integrity as your guiding light. You'll find that it will lead you to the harvest of success and fulfillment that God actually promised you. Remember the examples I shared today. Those who held on to their integrity and those who let it slip. The choices we make in the face of adversity shape our future in ways we can't always predict. But one thing is certain. Integrity will always guide you to the right place. Now, I want to challenge you to reflect on your own experiences with integrity during tough times. Have you faced moments where your integrity was tested? How did you respond? I'd love to hear your stories. You can share them with me on social media using the hashtag #NoInviteNecessary. And be sure to follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and all other platforms. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of No Invite Necessary. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Your feedback helps push the content to the ears and eyes of other dreamers, hustlers, grinders, and doers just like us. And if you're loving the improvements to the podcast, whether visually, format-wise, or content quality, I want to remind you that I'm currently enrolled in this 6-week boot camp of My 7-Figure Podcast. So if you're thinking about starting your own podcast, use my affiliate code to sign up. I'll place it in the description box below. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of No Invite Necessary. I'm your host, Nolita, and until next time, always remember, it's your journey, your hustle, your rules. Stay blessed, y'all.